Welcome back, friends, to another weekly video. This is week 4 of the Business Strategy Bootcamp VRIO analysis. Now, if you're not familiar with VRIO, it is a powerful strategy tool, and I've actually made a bunch of videos on it in the past. I'm going to link those in the description box down below if you want to learn more. But this video is all about practical implementation. And so I'm going to be asking you a series of questions for you to answer, and you're going to develop a powerful strategy for your business. The reason we talk about business strategy is we want to focus your company resources on areas of your business that generate the most value. Well, the areas where you're going to create the most profit are areas of competitive advantage. And so if we can define what those areas are, those unique aspects of your business that are areas of competitive advantage, we can put company resources into those areas and you're going to end up generating more money. To define our areas of competitive advantage, we are going to use VRIO. Now, VRIO is an acronym that stands for 4 questions. Is it valuable? Is it rare? Is it difficult to imitate? And is it exploited by the organization? Our task here is very simple. What you're going to be doing is you're going to be listing out the attributes of your company. And then for each attribute, you're going to be asking each one of these 4 questions. And what we're doing is we're evaluating the resources of our company. Because later on in the bootcamp, we're going to be taking those attributes and turning them into compelling revenue streams with competitive advantage. But for right now, we're just doing the evaluation. We are figuring out what resources your company has to work with. So the first step is to list out all the attributes about your company. So when you go and have a conversation with a customer, what are the things that you tell that customer about your company that makes your company special? Those are your company attributes. And last week, we defined the 5 W's for your company, the who, what, when, where, why. Well, we are expanding that definition. We're adding some more color to that by listing out the attributes that are unique and make your company special. Here are a few questions to think about as you are listing out your company attributes. What kind of background, skills, and abilities do you have? What knowledge do you have? What kind of customer base do you have? Are there any special defining characteristics of your culture? How do others describe your company? What things are different between you and your competitors? What things can you boast about to others as accomplishments or things you do well? What are some highlights from your company's past? The problem that most people have is they have this list, but they never do the second step. The second step is analyzing this list for competitive advantage. So I am betting that there's some items on this list that are better than the others at giving your company an edge in the marketplace. So the first step is to write out the list of your company attributes. You want to have at least 10 attributes, if not more. The second step is we're going to rank them and identify which of these attributes are really contributing to your competitive advantage. So next to your list, we are going to answer each of the questions in VRIO. The attributes with the most yes answers have the highest potential for competitive advantage. So I'm going to go through each of the 4 questions you are going to ask about your attributes. Number 1, is it valuable? Is this something that people are willing to pay money for? Now, you want to avoid the situation where you put all of this energy into a product, you put it out on the market, and nobody wants to buy it. The easiest way to avoid this solution is to answer this question, is this valuable? So are there people out there looking for this thing on the internet? Are they searching for it? Are they actively looking to pay somebody for this thing that your company has? And it doesn't have to be the specific product. It could be a problem that they're trying to solve that your product gives them a solution for. Is it rare? Are there a lot of other companies out there doing the same thing as you? So if you were going to go and do an internet search on this thing, would you find a whole long list of other companies doing the exact same thing? Or will you find that you are the only company doing that thing? If there's a lot of competition in this area, you're not going to be able to make very high profits because customers can just go and easily find these other alternatives at cheaper prices. Is it difficult to imitate? This question will identify whether somebody else can duplicate what you're doing and steal all your customers. And what you're really looking for here is you're looking for something that would take your competitors 10 years to duplicate what you're doing. So for instance, if you look through your list of attributes, and one of your attributes is a really cool website. Now, a website might be something that's valuable to the marketplace, but a website is very easy to imitate. Somebody can set up a website in 24 hours. But let's say you have 10 years of experience in a specific area. That would take somebody 10 years to duplicate. Nobody else can come in and start a business and on day one say, I have 10 years of experience in this specific area. So that is something that is difficult to imitate. And finally, question number 4. Is it exploited by your organization? This is the area where all the frustrations about your business are going to pop up. Because most frustration in business comes from the same thing. It comes from you seeing an opportunity and your company is doing nothing about it. So you have all of these attributes. Is your company doing anything about them? So for instance, imagine your company has 2 products, product A and product B. Product A is in an area of competitive advantage and product B is not very competitive. And yet, you might have 75% of your sales force working on product B. That is an example of no. The attribute is not being exploited by the organization. So those are the 4 questions, and that is how you perform the VRIO analysis. Now I'm going to give you a little secret on how you can take this analysis to the next level. And this is what I like to do. I like to go through the list of all the analysis that I've done, and I look at all the no's. And next to every no, I write a little description of why I put that no there. And what you're trying to identify is whether that no is within your control or outside of your control. Because a lot of times you can take that no and turn it into a yes. And what that does is it changes the ranking of that attribute. And you can actually change your attributes and make them areas of competitive advantage. For example, we talked about your sales force being split up in between 2 products. Well, that is something you can change. And the structure of your sales force actually becomes a source of competitive advantage. Let me give you another example. This is one I see a lot in business. Let's say one of your attributes is you have 10 years of strong customer relationships. That is something that is difficult to imitate for another company to come in and replicate 10 years of strong customer relationships. However, your company may not be putting very much money into customer service. If you are not maintaining your customer relationships by funding customer service, that is not an area that is being exploited by your organization to create competitive advantage. But that is also something you can change. You can fund those customer initiatives and turn your customers into an area of competitive advantage. Let me explain the point of VRIO analysis. The great thing about life is that we are all unique. We are all in a unique situation with different skills and different opportunities. And so VRIO is trying to help us realize what we have that is unique and special that our competitors don't have. And I'm going to tell you why this is so important. In the financial world, they talk about this all the time. So investors who are looking to invest in companies, they are looking for companies with areas of competitive advantage. They want to know if they invest their money that you have a unique product that your competitors are not going to be able to swoop in and steal your market share. So now I'm going to leave you with an activity. I want you to do a VRIO analysis for your company. In the description box down below, there's a link for a PDF worksheet. This should only take you about 30 minutes. Go ahead and print that out and do the VRIO analysis for your company. Now I want to know what you think. If you did the VRIO analysis and you found it helpful, go ahead and leave a comment down below. Let me know what you think. And if you found this video helpful, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. The best way to supercharge a business is through accounting and corporate finance, and I release a new video every week, so come back and check out next week's video.